Welcome to the Crypto Campfire.
Just when you thought you were out, they pull you back in. Mitch and the Perfesser. Featuring special guest, Marvin.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Crypto Campfire podcast. Today we're talking with our good friend Marvin. He's a cryptocurrency enthusiast and he's pretty deeply involved in the crypto space. Before we start talking to Marvin, let's grab a look at the crypto news from the Crypto Gent.
Thanks, Perfesser. Hello, Crypto Campfire listeners, and welcome to the cryptocurrency news in a flash with the Crypto Gent. Justin Sun, the creator of Tron, has cancelled or postponed his meal with Warren Buffett. He did, however, show up to an influencers event about Tron. I've seen different videos variously on Twitter about this. He allegedly has kidney stones and therefore was too ill to attend. Safeway shoppers can now get Bitcoin back as change at 894 US stores. That sounds quite cool to me. Croatian Post launches pilot program for crypto to fiat exchange. US SEC gives crypto gaming firm the go-ahead on Quarters token. And cryptocurrency is still below $10,000, struggling around $9,750 at the moment. That's the cryptocurrency news in a flash with the Crypto Gent, and it's back to you, Perfesser and Mitch.
Thanks a lot, Crypto Gent. So Mitch, man, what have you been up to today? It's been kind of a crazy weekend.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, right. It sure has. You know, it's been an insane weekend. I've been busy as all get out, doing crap for my house, you know, trying to get my laundry room in order, tore that all apart and remodeling the whole thing. So I've been going like a madman doing that and still having fun on Twitter as much as I can and in the chats as much as I can, you know. But just keeping up with the news, you know. We had some wicked weather Friday night, and the rap battles were still pretty awesome. You know, I don't know. I did a couple live broadcasts from that on that, you know, Friday evening, and it was fun. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that was off the hook, dude.
Yeah, it was cool, especially like when
getting up there and just dropping raps like that. I can't do that.
It's you know,
awesome.
it was so much easier when Gator started throwing a line out. And then I could follow that line, you know what I mean? But to not have anything to spark a movement or to spark a flow, you know, you kind of got to pull it out of your ass. So if there's somebody that says, hey, blah 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 blah, you know, you can jump onto that and pull a flow, no problem, you know. And I'm better at that, but you know, yeah, it was fun. I struggle with the rhythm part if I got no beat going, so. I don't know. It was a good time, man. And, you know, I enjoyed doing it. And I think everybody that watched it enjoyed it too. So that made it even more fun.
Yeah, it's awesome. You know, I think what we should do is when we go around to these meetups and stuff, maybe we should do like some sort of a live rap battle thing there where we round up people there and have them. Yeah, just an impromptu. They can have like 5 minutes to write up a thing or something like that. And then go up against each other just for shits and giggles, and
everybody just go up to the mic, kind of like on 8 Mile, you know, just go out there, spit it, and then let's do it.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, you said you can have notes.
Right? No, that'd be cool. That'd be a lot of fun. Even still with notes, you got to read them. But so yeah, Nana Be the Change posted a thing about I call it the douche bank of Germany because it's a bank and all banks are douches to my book. So I call it the douche bank of Germany. And anyways, you know, about how they're slowly going bankrupt. And I don't even know if it's slowly really. Their financial being is being tested to the core. They laid off like 1,500 people, which is a large chunk of their employees. You know, that there could be some pretty severe global financial impacts to the fact that this bank, who's been like the center hub of the World Economic Forum for hundreds and hundreds of years, right? Their market cap's down like $20 trillion, and they're getting less and less daily, and it could be pretty severely impactful to the global economy. You know, I mean, everybody has dealings with the douche bank of Germany, and I say that I think it's Deutsche or something like that. You know, but Deutsch. That's how I say it. But yeah, so you know, a lot of people, a lot of financial institutions, you know, the United States is one of them as well, have a great deal of trades and money that flow through that bank. So, you know, this could be a pretty big big impact for the world financial, the global financial market. And I think it could be pretty positive for crypto, actually.
Yeah, totally. Well, I mean, the thing is with banks, a lot of banks are struggling. And, there's a lot of people that think banks are just going to go away, which is obviously not the case. They're going to transform. Banks will always exist as a concept, right? Whether it's a cryptocurrency holding bank or a regular bank that's using blockchain technology or just a straight up bank, there's always going to be a form.
Sure.
And so, I think the biggest thing right now is to focus on a lot of tech that actually pays attention to banks, like XRP and Ripple. But,
right.
It's one of those things where we're going into a new paradigm here and a new type of technology and
paradigm shift.
New paradigm shift. And if you don't keep up, you're going to fail. And so some banks are going to make the change. And it's not like they have to adopt XRP. They don't have to adopt Bitcoin or anything like that. They can build their own blockchain and run off of that tech on their own if they want. Now you can't have it's not as easy to have like a truly distributed blockchain at that point. So you have some obvious restrictions with that type of form. But I mean, there's options. So they don't have to totally embrace our world of cryptocurrency. They just need to evolve and at least open themselves up to the technology. So,
right. I think that's key right there is opening themselves up to the technology.
Yep. So we'll see where it goes. So Marvin, welcome to the show. First off.
Hey guys, what's up?
Not a whole lot, man. It's good to have you. I'm glad we could do this weekend. It's kind of impromptu. So
yeah, but I appreciate you guys taking the time. I mean, you guys
yeah, man, it's cool.
Awesome people. Love your show. So I really do appreciate you guys,
man.
Especially on a Sunday. Sunday's like family.
Right? That's just another day.
Exactly. One more day.
Right.
So I've talked to you a little bit on Twitter. But I don't know a whole lot about your background, how you got into crypto and all that. So I was wondering if you could tell us a little bit about how you discovered crypto and maybe what you're doing in the crypto space these days.
Sure. Yeah, definitely. Okay. So a little background. Like David Gokshin, I am in the automobile business. I am a car salesman, so I do sell cars. So that's like my thing. So that is my background. But I had a coworker of mine who actually, it was about 2 years ago, right before the run up. Obviously, that's like the usual time frame, right? 2017, right towards the end of the year. And I heard he was talking about Bitcoin, so that was, of course, name brand. So started with that first, and then the second coin that he was talking to me about, actually, like a couple of days after, was TRX Tron. So right before XRP or before any other coin, was actually TRX. So he was talking to me about it. He couldn't really explain to me how it works. All he just kept telling me was, if you buy in and then other people buy in, then the price goes up. I mean, that's pretty much, it sounds like a Ponzi scheme. I mean, that's why everybody just lets it happen. Nobody's going to take their word for it. I mean, that's, made my first purchases, of course, waited out, survived, saw the whole run up and the run down. And I just decided to do a little bit more research. That's pretty much what it is, because, what goes up comes down, must come down. But of course, the other way is, yeah, so I, it was survived through the run up and the run down, pretty much, and that's when I kind of did my own research and then started looking into how the whole concept of blockchain and pretty much it's there's no middleman. You can have two parties that don't trust each other to trust each other without somebody interfering in the middle. So I think that's pretty much what kind of made me more, I guess, dig inside the rabbit hole and see exactly just the history of it. Pretty much doing all the research and looking into it, and then seeing other use cases. And that's when I started looking, branching out to XRP, TRX, and Litecoin, Ethereum, and that's how I first started into it. So it's pretty much word of mouth, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of this whole space is word of mouth, because the marketing channels are so limited right now. There's so many of the major marketing channels that are out there are restrictive to cryptocurrency based ads or ads related to cryptocurrency at all. So
yeah, 100%.
It's just a matter of getting out there and talking about it and telling people and staying excited about it. So it's that'll change over time. But one thing I do want to ask you real quick. You mentioned use cases, and on the past 2 or 3 episodes, we've asked people about what their favorite use cases were other than currency. And I've not gotten any real, everybody just says, well, I really like currency is the best. I'm like, okay, well, that's cool, but come on.
Right.
I don't think people actually know, dude.
Yeah, I don't, because we're so early. I mean, me specifically, would be the medical field.
So docademic.
Doctor, yeah, exactly, like that kind of project. I mean, I haven't really researched too hard into it, but I'm very excited into medical field because I saw a video yesterday on with Tim Draper on, and he was talking about the crypto, and I mean, this was like a 9-minute conversation I saw yesterday, and he was saying how they had a computer versus doctor kind of like exam, and like the computer scored about 85%, like close to 50% more or higher than the group of doctors. So, based on like 100 questions, like a questionnaire. So, if we can
that's awesome.
Incorporate that. Yeah. So if we can incorporate that, we can, detect, early on of, some sickness or disease or whatever. And especially when we have all this information and now it's pretty much just sharing this. It's pretty much data, so all this data combined and it's going to give us a more clear, I guess, path of what our lives will be. So the medical field is definitely one that I'm really looking forward to.
Heck yeah.
The concept of distributed data distribution networks is a crazy thing. There's so many different 100%. Applications, whether it's medical stuff or supply chain tracking or things like that. Anything where you're trying to share that data and maintain its integrity. A lot of people don't realize that the technology of blockchain, the concept of what it is, can be used for just exactly that, distributed data storage, so that you don't have one central point of failure. It's like cloud systems, but there's no like real trusted entity. Like everybody shares the same data, so you can't really hack it or destroy it. So
exactly,
it's a cool thing.
Exactly, yeah, and I mean, you could share that data from across the world. If somebody's feeling the same symptoms and stuff, you can track it a lot earlier, sooner. So again, it's all part of the network. The more people, the more data you get from this network. The more I guess the more exact the results would be, or they can prescribe you medicine and stuff like that. That's definitely one of them.
Okay, we got docademic, right? And then there's another one that was Gent is another one.
Okay.
And I know that one has to do with dental services for
dental,
people,
yes,
right?
Yes.
So yeah, Dentcoin's another one, and so yeah, it's nice to, it's frustrating because you say, okay, so tell us a use case other than currency for crypto, and people are like, oh well, Litecoin or Verge, or it's like no, a use case other than currency, and I don't think people really. It's not generalized. I'm using a general statement, and I don't think a lot of people. How's that? I don't think a lot of people really understand the validity and the use cases that are out there. So if you think about it, there's over 2,300 or 3,300 tokens, right? Mm-hmm. Between shit coins, altcoins, and cryptocurrency, right? And currency tokens, and blockchain tokens, and whatever else out there, right? So there's tons and tons of use cases at that point. There's blockchain use cases. There's internet use cases. There's medical use cases. There's automotive use cases. There's a shit ton of use cases out there. There's like poetry, documentary, documenting. Poetry called Poet, right? Poet's a documentation type blockchain. So there's a shit ton out there, but it's impossible to know them all, but you got to at least know a couple, so it's nice to have this part of the conversation happen during the podcast, because it does reinforce to people, there's more out there.
Oh, without a doubt. Yeah, I mean, listen, it's just it's just a enhanced database. I mean, it'll make a lot more companies out there more efficient. And they'll be able to track a lot of things. I mean, you're right. Like you said, it's we're so early that not a lot of people can see into the future. But I'm sure there's a lot. If you follow the projects, you'll be able to see the many use cases.
Oh yeah, well, and I think a lot of the problem is that. A lot of people in the crypto space aren't technical necessarily. They're not necessarily a developer, or at least have the type of background to truly understand what a blockchain is even. So, so they see the currency and they can understand that usage of it because they're familiar with using digital currency sort of anyway, with things like PayPal and Google Pay and that kind of stuff. They're sort of used to spending money digitally. So it kind of makes that connection, and that's what they understand. But since they don't have that underlying understanding of the tech, it's kind of hard for them to make extrapolations from that of what other type of uses it could be. So maybe it's harder to understand what some of the altcoins do, or at least how they use the blockchain. Right. So, that kind of goes in. We always talk about education. So it'd be kind of nice to, maybe that would be a good thing to focus on education wise, is trying to help people understand the underlying tech and how to think about other ways to use it.
Right. Definitely got to get the education out there.
Oh yeah, man. It's a big thing right now. One thing I wanted to ask you too, I kind of wanted to talk about this a little bit. I saw some headlines today about Bank of America filing a patent. The patent is called Real-Time Net Settlement by Distributed Ledger System. In that patent, there's like two different instances where it references Ripple settlement. Mm-hmm. Do you, in your opinion, do you think they're referencing the technology as a standpoint, like as in what we're building will look like this? Or do you think that they're actually intending to partner with Ripple? Do you know any more about this?
I think they are intending in incorporating the Ripple technology with the XRP. I mean, you hear a lot of people saying, they're not going to use the coin. Well, yeah, nobody's going to use the coin. Nobody's going to use it yet because there's no regulations. And especially in the finance world, obviously regulations will take slow. But I mean, with Ripple, from what I know, it is a white label kind of program or software that anybody can just build on top since it's open source. So right. I'm pretty positive that they'll be incorporating the Ripple net into it, with the XRP specifically in the future.
Nice. Yeah, it's one more step, right?
Yes, 100%. Definitely one more step.
The potential for XRP, in my opinion, there's just so many uses for it. Even if the certain uses don't necessarily involve the value of the token per se, it's just the fact that technology exists and that people are starting to take advantage of it. It's huge for the whole crypto space in general. Sure, maybe certain things are going to pump the price, but whatever. We're not here. I mean, we are. We like the
no, of course.
We're not going to lie. I love it when the market's green. But in the long run, we're here because we really want to see this become a thing. This take it to the next level and become an integrated technology across the world where it needs to be used.
Oh, for sure, man.
So, going back to the bank failures, right, coming and the economic crash that's about to happen. My question is this. All right. So we're into crypto, right? And we have our bags, right, of specific tokens and, Bitcoin and whatever other coins that are out there that we're holding on to, right? And so let's say there's an X amount of those that we're holding, right? So now all of a sudden the economic world around us just collapses, right? There's no money out there. The money that's out there is worth shit. So crypto starts to really take off, right? I mean, really take off and just go through the roof. My question is this, how do we manage the amount of crypto that we have without the ability to restore it by buying more with the fiat that we can't make anymore?
How can we store it?
So what I'm asking is, so we have, let's just use this as a hypothesis, right? Sure. You have 100 Bitcoin, period, end of story. And that might even be too much. Let's just say you got 5 Bitcoin, right? So you got 5 Bitcoin into the market, right? Worth of value. So if you can no longer use fiat because it's collapsed, there is no more fiat. How do we build our crypto back up if we're using it as a currency? So people will actually, financial institutions or employers will have to turn to crypto in order to pay us in crypto so that we can keep using crypto, right? So it's just kind of weird. I was thinking about that today going, all right, so if I got X amount of dollars in crypto and now all of a sudden fiat crashes, just totally collapses worldwide, how am I going to buy more crypto? So I'm thinking, okay, come on. Okay, you got a 401k, you got a pension, you got a house. All right, let's just start selling shit and buy crypto. Right? I mean, that was like the first thought that ran to my mind.
Well, it's just going to become any sort of asset, right? It's just going to be a normal commodity at that point. And then the value is going to be based on the use case or what that currency is useful to you for in that point. And maybe that ends up.
I don't know that commodity is the right word though.
But isn't it though? I mean, it's just a thing that could be traded
I don't think it is.
amongst people.
Well,
I mean,
yes, but the fact that it
asset.
can be used, not just traded, the fact that it can be used.
Well, right.
Like your
Wouldn't that be a
stocks.
commodity?
I mean,
I'm not saying it's a stock. Well, it's a commodity like oil, or that's a commodity. Gold, things like that.
Or like gold, yeah.
I guess, gold's a commodity, right? And so is well, we all know pork bellies are a commodity. Thank you, trading places.
So, call it what you will. Point being, it's going to be a item of value that people will trade with each other one way or another.
Right. Peer to peer.
Now, things that don't have a use case are not going to be useful. Nobody's going to give a shit about that.
No.
Tokens that you can actually use to exchange for a service or exchange for goods, or that actually has a value, because things like Bitcoin will still maintain, it won't necessarily be a dollar value, but if the dollar is gone and your traditional systems of trade are shut down, you're going to have to
it's just going to be a unit of trade at that point.
And so the value of it will be established based on what the market does, not the trading market, but what the actual like physical real world market does, what people say they want for things. And it'll be a crazy shit, and it'll all have to stabilize again. You're going through a massive change, but things will be valued based on their usefulness.
But now think of this. We all hold crypto, right? Look at what percentage of the world that we are, and what percentage of the world does not hold crypto. And once this economic crash actually takes place, how long is it going to take for the rest of the adoption phase to actually take place, where employers start adopting cryptocurrency so that they can pay their employees, right? And so on and so forth. The trickle down is just crazy. So how long of a time frame is that going to be? And what's going to happen? The value of crypto is just going to skyrocket. And you know what? We're so early. We're going to be that select few, that separated amount of people that were smart enough to get into the technology before people thought it was something other than a scam.
Right. That's so true.
It's crazy to think about.
There's going to be a whole new class.
Oh yeah, and we're going to go back to like the barter system. I mean, I think that's what it is. We're going to go back to like the old school system with just bartering. I mean, I'm thinking, I'm thinking a little bit more longer term, like you're going grocery shopping, and you can pay with, instead of just money itself or even crypto itself, you can pay with like a stock or like an Apple stock. So paying for a gallon of milk, you'll pay for like a partial of gold or an Apple stock.
But you can't use Apple stock that way. You can't use stock that way. It's not designed that way.
Right. Not yet. But what if we had like a tokenized stock? So we have tokenized.
Exactly.
Now we have because they're going to tokenize everything at this point. It's inevitable.
Yeah, the stock market is going to be tokenized so fast. I mean, the potential for that, it's in the works. It's going to happen. I mean, why would you not? It's very feasible that in the next 5 to 10 years, we see regulation come into place that allows companies to issue securities on a blockchain. They would have to register and go through all the same stuff they do right now when they're issuing stocks, but it would just be a token, right? So you're doing the same thing. You're going through the same process. You have the same laws and regulations. You're just doing it on a blockchain and making a token. I think that's going to happen more than we think, and probably sooner than we expect.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, definitely.
Am I making the correct statement here by saying that if the value of the stocks go down, right? And we have this big economic crash. In the past and in history, when the stock market's gone down, what has gone up? Typically,
price of gold
and silver, right?
Gold and silver, right?
Gold and silver goes to the roof. Why? Because people are panicky and they start selling all their shit. The market takes a huge hit and drops, but the people that pull out take their money and they put it into gold, right? And the price of gold goes through the roof. But I think what's going to happen this time is that with Bitcoin and crypto becoming what it is, I think instead of going into gold, I think people are going to panic. They're going to sell. The market's going to crash, and everybody that's pulling out of the market is going to put their money into crypto. That's my opinion. That's my take on what's going to happen.
I completely agree.
Crypto is going to have an ever increasing share of the last resort fund, if you will, for when the stock markets start to go. So it's going to be really interesting to see how that grows and which assets they choose to go into. And it's going to depend a lot on how crypto is being used too, right? So at the beginning, I think we're going to see a lot of people going into stores of value like Bitcoin or Litecoin or
Mm-hmm.
maybe even Ethereum, even though that's not what its intended use is. It has that effect.
Right.
But as time goes on and more use cases are developed and crypto is more widely used for different things, we're going to have a lot more people buying different types of coins and buying into things because they actually use them. And so if they're taking their money out of the stock market, they're going to buy into stuff that they're going to use, or maybe it's kind of a combination. So it's going to be a crazy sort of ecosystem that evolves from all this. But I think we're going to see a world that so many uses for blockchain that we can't even imagine it. It's going to be in everything we touch, just like code is right now in general. Just the fact that we're just starting to get all that stuff. Smart devices and all this stuff.
Smart, right? Exactly.
Speaking of use cases,
exactly.
One of my favorite new use cases that just came out, it's the GFY token. And I plan on giving a couple million of those to Peter Schiff and everybody in the government that has been laughing at cryptocurrency for the last 5 years. I'm gonna donate 10 million GFY tokens.
Better save some for Rabini too while you're at it, bro.
Oh yeah.
He's already got a bag of that shit, dude.
Right. And I'm sure Buffett's already got a handful or two.
Buffett's
got some already. He just won't admit it.
Exactly.
He's holding a bag,
right.
It's funny, bro. No, but Mitch, you're totally right in that aspect. I mean, that's it really is. It will be a transfer of wealth, something we haven't seen, and just to be in the forefront of that, and I think you touched lightly before about the 401k. I mean, I even asked my parents. I said, guys, how's your 401k doing? And my dad just looks at me and he's just like, what do you know? I'm just asking, I'm just, where you see, I want to take a look, and see if maybe you can, pay an extra fee and get that and get all that out. How soon can you get that money out?
Sure.
But
right.
It's scary. It really is scary too, because, it's just, if you haven't jumped on the train at this point, then it's going to be a rough ride.
It's only scary if you haven't prepared for it. Right. And we're here. We're preparing daily, right? Every dip, I prepare a little bit more.
Oh yeah.
I don't know about you.
Oh yeah.
But
I take a swim in that dip.
Oh my goodness, right? I'll take 2 of those. Thank you.
Yeah.
With some sprinkles of this and that on top, right? And maybe a slathering of this. Hell yeah. Oh yeah. I'm all about the dips.
And I
it's
do
like
have
that tweet I said, Monday I'm happy, Tuesday, yep, I'm happy. Any day I'm happy. You fuck with my ice cream, we got problems.
100%, bro. 100%. Let's do it. And whenever somebody asks me how I'm doing, I just say patiently wait. That's how I'm doing. I'm doing good. I'm doing fine. I'm patiently waiting.
I think today is National Ice Cream Day.
Is it?
Is it?
I believe so. I'm pretty sure I saw that on Twitter. So, I mean,
all right.
Happy National Ice Cream Day, I guess.
I might just have to go get me a double scoop of chocolate chip. Absolutely.
Ooh, sounds pretty good. I gotta have some peanut butter.
What's your favorite? What's your guys' favorite flavor? I mean, I'm going to be playing and say chocolate just to get out of the way. I'm not a vanilla guy. I'm just pretty simple with chocolate. But what do you guys like?
I mean, there's so many like. I'm a fat kid. I love ice cream. All sorts of varieties. So
what's your go-to? What's your go-to?
My go-to is usually like the frozen yogurt place down the road because they've got. I
cheese.
don't like frozen yogurt, but this one actually is no. Fuck that shit. I hate that. But they've got they got all their candy bars crushed up, and so I can put a shit ton of Reese's and crap on it, and I usually get some chocolatey something or other with lots of Reese's and peanuts, plenty of fudge topping, and. Yeah,
Oh, so they just mix it in for you at that point? They just kind of throw it in?
No, so it comes out of like a soft serve machine, and you just grab a cup and you fill it up. And then they have like a bar thing of different toppings that you put on.
Like a Subway style.
Yeah, basically, except you put the toppings on yourself, and then they go by weight. So it's like $8 a pound. Or it gets expensive.
Nice. You go by the
I'd
pound.
have to say that peanut butter and chocolate from, I don't know if Baskin Robbins is worldwide, but from Baskin Robbins up here in the north, peanut butter and chocolate's my favorite. I actually went there the other day. It was hot as hell here. And I went there to go get a scoop of peanut butter and chocolate ice cream. And the girl's like, oh, they stopped making that. I was like, what? Well, they ran out, so they haven't made new batches yet. So it might be a couple of weeks, but we got some pre-packed. I'm like, yeah, no. You just ruined my day. I was bummed.
Do they still let you have samples on the little pink spoons?
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
I haven't been there in ages, but when I was a kid, I loved going there and just trying to, in high school.
Let me try that one.
one. Yeah, exactly. It was bad. Good old days.
Well, I had a paper route as a kid, and my buddy had a paper route too. And we both had mopeds, and we'd both fly up to Baskin Robbins after we'd collect our monthlies from everybody, and we'd go up to Baskin Robbins, and we'd both sit there with like 3 scoops of peanut butter and chocolate in this big ass bowl. Yeah, I was a fat kid with chocolate syrup all over it, and oh man, that was the bomb.
I mean, honestly, if you're eating ice cream, by the time you get done with it, you should regret it. If you don't, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah, exactly. I regret it every time I eat it. My kid will buy like a half gallon of this stuff. It's called it's Moose Tracks, like extreme maximum fudge, right? So it's got this big layer of thick chocolate fudge in the middle of it. And it's hard, but the flavor of that fudge inside the ice cream, right? We'll get this thing, and like 3 days later, my kid will go to get a scoop of ice cream. Be like, where the fuck's the ice cream? He just looks at me, and I'm like, oh.
There's like 3 spoons in the sink.
Right. And I'm about 2 pounds heavier. I love it.
Minor detail. Good for you.
Yeah, whatever.
And it builds character for him. So.
It makes me think of Ripple, Fudge Ripple. So do you have any thoughts about how Ripple's tech might evolve over the next 5 to 10 years?
That was a really deep question for laughing on the way out of an ice cream.
Yeah. I know it is.
That shifted really fast.
That's too funny. Besides,
it was just a good segue, I thought.
It was. I loved it.
that was perfect. Yes. Well, 5-10 years. I mean, I would assume since everything's connected to the bank financials, I would, insurance would probably play a role. Insurance companies would probably play a role. I mean, if you got to settle, let's just say through insurance, accidents or anything like that, that would incorporate. That would be, I guess, for looking further in the future, 5-10 years from now, right? I mean, does that? I don't know. I hope that's
that makes total sense.
Yeah, anything that's connected to the bank, anything that's connected to your financials. I mean, that would be insurance, and I mean, I guess sky is the limit, right? Because we haven't really thought of all the use cases out there yet.
Exactly, and there's a lot of room for growth here. There's a lot of room for evolvement, evolution, and things to continue to adapt and change. And actually improve, right? Because I mean, since the technology is still so new, there's still a lot of improvements that are happening. So, that's why all these forks and all these changes within the crypto projects, because they're realizing, oh wow, check this out, we can do this now, and we learned how to do that. So everything's changing on a daily basis, it seems, and I think that's just the beauty of it. There's so much growth potential; it's sickening.
This stuff is going like light speed.
It is.
Yeah.
All right, Marvin. So I got to ask you one last question before we close up here today. So let's say you get all of Satoshi's bags. If you can sing any song 100% perfectly on the spot right now, what song do you pick?
Ooh, easy. Celine Dion. My Heart Will Go On.
Dude, I love
Celine
it.
Dion. 100%. Without hesitation.
There was no hesitation.
None at all.
But the sad thing is, I could sit there right with you and sing that whole thing, I think. Because when I was a kid, they had like weird dance thing that they did for this Titanic song. And so, yeah, I mean, it just never stopped. Just in my head forever.
Keep going on.
It was great. So, Mitch, what about you?
Yeah.
You got one? What about me? I have a lot of them. Probably, it would definitely be a country song. Yeah, definitely a country song. I'm thinking probably something new from Eric Church or from
there you go,
Chris Stapleton.
That's a good one.
Only problem with Chris Stapleton is I can't hit those notes, man. That guy's got some serious range.
He's got some pipes. I mean, you could try and give us a Chris Stapleton impersonation if you'd like. Little Tennessee. I know it's a cover, but a little Tennessee whiskey action wouldn't be.
Tennessee whiskey. Give me a minute, man. That's totally on the spot.
You're actually good. I was just being a smartass, but if you're gonna do it.
That's a good way to go.
Oh, that's good. You're good. You don't have to sing.
Thank you.
I was just being. I know you were
You gave it
prepared. I was
mercy.
like, oh Jesus.
You put me so on the spot with it, though. I'm like, wait, what are the words?
It's too late at night to make you sing. We'll do that one of these days. I'll put you on the
Oh
spot
my
again,
God.
but I won't do it right now.
Hell yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, Marvin, it's been good having you on the show. We really appreciate you coming on. It's been an amazing night.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate you guys having me.
Yeah, no problem, man. We'll definitely have to do this again.
Yeah, for sure.
Awesome.
Oh, for sure. Hey, wait a minute now. Before we go, I got it.
Oh.
I got it. Just a couple of lines, though.
All right. All right.
Oh, hang on. I got to start it off. All right. Never mind.
You didn't,
What a tease.
Oh, shit.
We'll get you going at the St. Louis event and see if we can't get you
Oh, my
streaming.
God.
Whiskey.
Oh, I definitely want to see that video of that.
Yeah, man. He owes it to us now, doesn't
he?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's good.
Strawberry wine.
Yeah, he has been drinking.
Nice.
Little Leanne rhymes. All right.
That's it.
It's been a good night, guys.
All right, guys. Have a good one.
Y'all have a good one.
Take care, buddy.
Thank you for everything, guys.
Oh man, that was a great podcast. I really enjoyed having him on. It was a great conversation.
Yeah,
really was.
Huge thanks to Marvin for coming on. It was kind of an impromptu podcast. We just decided we wanted to record an extra this weekend, and he made the time and made it happen. So that was awesome. We appreciate it. Yeah. It would have been nicer if we had less technical issues with our software, but we stuck through it. It took us an hour and a half to record 45 minutes of audio, but we got it done, and I think this podcast turned out pretty good. So we had a good time, and I really like his thought processes, and I love how deep he gets into how this stuff actually works, and where it's going in the future. He's not so narrow-minded about it like a lot of people are.
Right, exactly. I love that too. That's just to be open to do new ideas. Right. I think that's what so many people are today, and so many people are not on the same hand.
Yeah, exactly. It's there's such a huge world out there in the crypto space. It's not so limited like a lot of people see it as, especially from the outside. It's just either a scam or another magic internet money sort of thing. But right, it really is such a broad ranging technology. It's got applications in so many areas that most people just can't. They just haven't even seen it yet. They've not been into those areas where they've been exposed to it. They've never actually talked to the people that look at it that way, or somehow they've just never been connected to it. I don't know what it is, but just a matter of time, until people start seeing it.
It is. It really is. And once people, every day people are thinking of new ideas. Every day people are thinking of new, things to do or better ways to improve the projects that they're doing and the projects that they're on. I'm seeing a lot more use cases out there that are, doing different things. And like say, Beatscoin, right? They're a self-funded project. They're coming up with some pretty great things that are free to everyone. So, that's kind of cool. And having all these assets available to people that they don't have to pay for. I think that's an amazing thing too. There's a lot of that coming, and I think a lot of it's just because the innovators want to be part of this new movement, and they don't care if they make a dime off the people or not. They're going to make money off the tech eventually, right?
Yeah, that's the beautiful thing about the new way the tech space operates these days. There's so much focus on open source and so much focus on community-driven projects that it opens up a whole lot of opportunity, and blockchain just further enables that ability by, I talk about it all the time, but microtransactions are a super important thing. The ability for somebody to monetize a platform simply without having to charge people things is insane. And, it's only a matter of time until we see a much larger percentage of software that runs like that, where, maybe the majority of the software that you use is free, but you get, you constantly are microtransacting various tokens or whatever it may be at that time. And in exchange, their platform is monetized and they can keep it running because of that. So, it'll be interesting to see where we go with this.
Oh, for sure. There's no question about it. I'm excited for the future. I'm excited for all this new growth and all this change that's going to be happening. I'm excited for the people and the friends that I've made along the way and that we've made along the way. to enjoy this wave with, because we have so much in common, and we're the frontier. We're the innovators. We're the new adopters. We're the people in the forefront pushing this and going to be a part of just something so amazing. It's just crazy to think of. So,
it's a cool place, man. And
it
that
is.
Guys, we might be doing some sort of a VR conference too. Like we might be doing a podcast on a virtual reality conference. It's run by Block D Central. You should check them out. It's a really cool thing. Basically, so they've got like a virtual crypto conference set up. You connect via VR. I mean, you can also do it from your computer if you don't have a VR headset or whatever. So you can do a 2D version of it. But it's like you're in a video game more or less, and you connect and you walk around, and you can go to everybody's booth, and there's like a stage set up for presentations and things. So it's gonna be sweet. So they approached us and want us to do a podcast as part of that. So keep an eye out for that. We're gonna try and make that happen. So
hell yeah, that's gonna be sick. The merch store, we got so much stuff coming up, dude. If we were a token, we'd be killing it right now. I mean, we got the merch store coming. We got more episodes coming.
It's just the experiences that we've gained from this and the friends that we've made. It's insane.
Oh, and the doors, yes.
Yeah, it's amazing. I love this.
The opportunity
is
is just
stopping anytime soon.
No, I get goosebumps when I start talking
know,
like
right?
that shit. So,
it's cool. It's cool though. It's cool. There's not many things that make you that happy in this world anymore.
No, there's not. That's the thing. And I keep saying my family, my wife, why are you so happy all the time? Jesus, I've never seen you like this. You're always in a positive mood. And I'm just like, it's what I'm surrounding myself with. It's the people that I follow. It's the people that I interact with. It's the crypto. It sure as hell ain't the market right now, but it's everything else. I could give a shit about the market anymore. I just buy the shit and whatever. Go on with life. Right.
Leave that bag alone. Come back in 5 years.
It's kind of like an emerald pan. Set it and forget it,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Speaking of that, I'm kind of excited about doing this little wallet thing, this experiment where we buy $10 of some new random shit coin every time we do a podcast. So it'll be could be an interesting thing. We're looking for some opportunities like that to try and help fund the touring that we want to do. We want to take this podcast all over the place. So we're looking for little opportunities like this. And if it blows up and we make a few bucks and we can buy a few more plane tickets and meet a few more of you face to face, then so be it. We want every opportunity we can.
Hell yeah.
Hell yes.
Exactly. We just have to create them.
St. Louis, less than a month away.
Yes, it is less than a month away. It's only like 3 weeks away in my book.
Yeah, that's crazy. I can't believe it.
My daughter's coming home from Minnesota next week, and she's going to be spending a week with us, and we're going to go to this place called Grand Haven and enjoy Lake Michigan for a little bit and some sands and some good time. So I'm looking forward to that.
Sounds awesome. We'll have to. I guess we'll just have to chill out and listen to the crypto campfire by the lakeside. Huh?
I'll be disappearing every now and then, and I'll be doing live broadcasts from Lake Michigan, blowing you peeps up, saying, "Look at me! Look at this!
Look at me!
It's gonna be sweet. Yeah, look at me! I'm in the water,
rubbing it in. Of course.
Yeah, well, it's still Lake Michigan, so it's gonna be cool.
That'll be amazing.
But guys, thanks for coming tonight. We had an amazing time. We hope you did too. We do this for the community. We do this for the people. We do this for the fun. And we're definitely having fun, and we're hoping you guys are too, because that's why we're doing it. We're doing it for you guys, and it's just going to keep going. So episode after episode, we say the same thing. It's all about you. Thanks for the tips. Thanks for the logs you put on the tip fire, or the tip logs you put on the campfire rather. And that's pretty much it for tonight. So you guys have a great one. We will talk to you soon.
Have a good week, y'all.
Peace.